Coming at you from the Steel City, you're listening to Poor Man's Podcast, Pittsburgh's premier comedy podcast. Your weekly dose of humor, hosted by Chris Hopper and with a new special guest each week. And here's your host, Chris Hopper. Woo! Woo!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Poor Man's Podcast. I'm your host, Chris. Along with me, as always, is the wonderful, is the talented, is the beautiful Danny Kaufman. Danny, how are you this week?
I'm so good. You're going to make me cry.
And joining Danny as well, right next to her, we have guest Shay this week.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
You were at our live podcast,
Yes,
right? I know Danny doesn't like to discuss it.
I don't like to talk about it. I want to forget that it ever happened.
No, it was fun.
I blacked out.
You did.
So you did kind of forget it happened.
You did.
Yeah.
But I got a signed autograph T-shirt. I should have wore it.
Oh my God, you
I
should
still have it.
have.
Yeah. And then I was on the game.
Oh, that's
yeah,
right.
that's
You
right.
won
You
the
won.
game.
I won the game.
Against Johnny T.
Yeah, he was pretty upset about it. Pretty butthurt about
Yeah,
He was.
well,
it. Be better.
He was not amused.
yeah, well, you know what? He should have brought his game. Like
Absolutely.
you did, Shay.
I
Like
did.
you did. You were ready to match with the stars. And joining us as well, our other co-host, the wonderful, the talented, the beautiful Abby Elias. Abby, it's wonderful to see you this week.
Wonderful to be here this week, Chris.
It's always wonderful to have you. I missed you the last show because I drove the whole way in and shit, and then had to drive home because I didn't want to shit puke everywhere. And that's the intro for our guest today. I'm sorry, Eric. That is the worst transition of all time.
I feel really glad that you're not shit puking.
Thank you.
We
I
all
think
are.
that's the professional
Every
term.
day I go to bed, I thank God that I didn't shit puke today.
Yep. Say a quick little prayer.
It's the worst. You throw some sweat in that too. It's a bad stew.
Ooh.
We have
Especially
official
on a
prayers for
podcast.
that.
Oh, I was praying to the porcelain god for sure. But that voice we have at Old Dirty Pastor, which is a great name on Instagram,
Love
Eric
it.
Damon.
Hello.
Eric, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I was gonna tell you this before the episode started, but I believe you were the first person I've met in comedy because you were at Corner Cafe on a Sunday for an open mic, and that was the first mic I did, and I believe I sat with you at the bar for like a minute beforehand, and you were a very calming influence.
I'll take it. I don't know what about it was calming, especially you get back to then that you probably caught me while I was still sober before the mic began.
Yeah.
That's back when I was still having a drink when I say a drink, I mean then it would empty and I'd have another, and another at every mic and didn't learn yet that that's a problem.
Yeah. It's nice to have your wits about you somewhat, but it's nice to be calm at the same time and loose. But we are here at Steel City Arts Foundation in Stanton Heights in the podcast studio, which is so nice.
So nice.
We
So
were-
a fish.
I was commenting when we got in here, like you could hear how quiet it is in here. So
So quiet.
I know that's what all the listeners want to hear is about how quiet the
How
studio
quiet it is.
when,
Well,
when I get here.
The people outside are thankful.
Yes.
Absolutely. But Danny, you know what? Let's get started. You want to hit that rundown bell for us? Excellent work as always.
you.
The rundown. Like I said, we're here at Steel City Arts Foundation. We have our guest, Eric Damon. A couple of things we want to touch on. Well, our rundown, we have, in addition to those, we have our last week's top drops, which is pretty much last month's top drops at this point, because I think Nate was our last guest.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Danny, you have not missed anything.
I really haven't.
I've been in the process of trying to buy a house with my fiance, and well, she's trying to buy a house.
Peace and blessings.
Yeah, it's not good. We were under contract and it fell through, and I'm ready to I'm just too burnt out on everything. So
So-
Buying
Okay.
a house is very stressful.
Or renting an
Or
apartment
renting-
in LA.
no, no.
Yep. Yep.
or yeah, any part of it.
Yeah.
I hate it. Anything that's beyond me sitting on my couch in the air conditioning.
I feel that.
watching Netflix or whatever anymore.
That's hot girl summer to me.
Absolutely. And there will be more about that in the new news today. I think. I don't know. I'm setting the teaser. I hope we can deliver, Danny.
Oh,
I hope
we will.
we'll find out. But before we touch on all this, I did want to touch on our podcast, the Poor Man's Podcast Showcase, Danny.
Yes.
How did you enjoy it? I feel like we had a pretty good turnout.
We had a great turnout. We had a lot of people that were like there, like ready to go. Like there's 2 or 3 tables that had been there for a while. So it was really cool to like see everybody that was there. And I haven't had time for stand up in months. So it was cool to like get up again. I missed it. I missed it a lot.
You did a great job.
It was fun. Thank you.
You felt very calm, and you did the thing that shows me how calm you are by standing with like the mic stand, leaning on it.
Yeah.
There's nothing more
So
confident
cool.
than
That's my
just-
signature move because if not, I feel like I'm gonna fall.
That's such a nervous tick for me. And I set the mic stand back there, and then we're going to keep holding on to this.
Either I touch the mic stand or I play with my hair or like
Yes.
a zipper or something. Like there's pick your poison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always some nervous tick. I guess it could be worse. You could start like shaking or something. I don't know.
You could shit
Yeah.
vomit.
That would be
great
the worst,
time.
man. Oh, I could feel it coming.
It was shit puking officially.
Thank you, Pastor.
If you're gonna insult the man, do it right.
Oh, it was. I insulted the toilet back here. I felt bad because Luke was here ready to go, and I drove 45 minutes to shit puke. Well, just shit here. This is great pod, and then be on my way. So I apologize to Luke, but he won't be here next podcast. We have Brandon Johnson's coming on. He's making his own beer for
Wait, what?
Barrel
Jesus.
and flow.
Barrel and Flow.
Yep.
I was like, it's not Hustle and Flow. That's that movie. And then I was thinking
Jennifer Lopez.
Bellevue did one too. Rhythm and Brews, which is coming up too. So if you're in Bellevue, stop to that. But I'm excited to talk to Brandon. He's always very nice. And he always gives me good feedback on mics and things like that. I respect his comedy brain for sure. And interested to talk about beer as well. And then hopefully Luke comes on after that. Before we touch on some of comedy with Eric, we were talking a little bit about, I thought we were talking about food earlier or just eating poorly. Were we not?
Yes.
Yes, we were talking about how Dan and I have been on a healthy journey.
A hair health
A
journey.
hair health journey, and how we're trying to eat healthier as a whole.
Yes.
Keyword trying.
Yes.
So
Hashtag trying.
I'm going to tell you about my breakfast the other day, and then I want to see if you have a similar kind of fat story, I guess is the best way to say that.
Okay.
I went to McDonald's, and then after I got my egg and bacon cheese biscuit, I went over across the street to Wendy's to get my Cinnabon. Is there something fatter than going to 2 fast food places within the same 10 minutes?
I've done it before because sometimes you want different items from
yeah.
different places.
Yeah.
So I've done it. I'm trying to think what was the last combo I've done.
Have you
Do
ever
have
like
one?
gone to like a Wendy's and then deemed that specific Wendy's location's chicken nuggets unacceptable, so you go to a
Yes.
Wendy's in another location?
I've done that with Taco Bells. Like I know where
Yeah.
the good ones
Yeah.
are.
I've also done that with like Starbucks, Dunkin'.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Dunkin', that's
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a gamble.
Dunkin' really makes you wonder if you're going crazy or if they just don't train people, because I feel like the coffees are so inconsistent.
They are. You
I'm-
can tell
yeah.
by the color instantly.
Yes, it's either I'm getting a coffee and it's all milk, or I'm getting a coffee and it's all ice with a splash of coffee.
Yes.
I'm like, I just train people.
Or 95 pumps of whatever syrup you
Yes,
asked
it's
for.
So syrupy.
Eric, what's your food vice?
Food vice. Cheese.
Oh yeah.
Undisputably
a
cheese.
good
What are your what are your top 3 cheeses?
I have
Swiss
Swiss cheese is
Swiss.
cheese has to
Okay,
be
okay.
in my fridge.
I didn't know you were going to come on and be controversial.
I will literally just put cheese on a tortilla, melt it, put
Oh, yeah.
Frank's Red Hot on it,
Hell yeah.
and eat that.
That sounds so good.
Around 1 in the morning, I come from a mic,
best
there's
time.
me melting Swiss cheese on a tortilla.
I mean, it makes sense. It is the holiest of cheeses. and he
Yeah.
is a Catholic, so yeah.
Oh shit!
Okay, Shay.
We didn't realize Shay was going to come on and crush it. Oh, but yeah. Oh, okay. So Swiss. What else we have?
The Swiss alike
Yeah,
cheese. It was
okay.
like Havarti. And
Okay.
I love
Give me,
Havarti.
Swiss adjacent.
Yeah, give me a hard cheese that's got a bite to it.
Okay,
All right,
yeah.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
Have you a cheese
I
guy?
am a cheese gal.
Yeah,
a
yeah,
cheese lady.
Cheese whiz
a lady
over
of the
here.
It
chiz.
doesn't have to be gendered.
I like a good Gouda.
Oh, hell yeah.
that, yeah.
Smoked Gouda.
Mhm.
Gouda might be the best cheese for a mac and cheese out there. You do a smoked Gouda
Oh.
with some bacon in there. You're speaking my language, Danny.
Okay.
You know? You don't
I
like
do-
bacon, so probably
I do not. No.
Oh,
You like
interesting.
Gouda, though?
I do like Gouda. I'd say my number one though.
Shay says it's pretty Gouda.
It is pretty good.
But I'd say my number one is nacho cheese.
I was gonna say she loves a nacho cheese.
I love a nacho cheese.
Back up. You don't like bacon?
No,
Yeah, right?
no.
Yeah.
I know. I'm the
That's an
weirdo.
affront to all things holy in this world. Not like bacon.
Well, in her defense, she doesn't like any meat. Does that make it better?
Yeah.
That's not-
So it may not.
Makes it worse.
I had a traumatic experience 2 weekends ago.
With bacon?
No, with chicken.
Oh,
Oh
no.
no.
I was
hard.
bamboozled.
How did the chicken bamboozle you, Danny?
I ordered jackfruit tacos at this
Okay.
resort that we went to have a nice little staycation. And they brought me these tacos, and I ate almost 2 of them. And then the waitress came and said, "I'm so sorry. I gave you chicken tacos." I have not eaten chicken in 20 years.
Yeah.
Do you know how many chickens I've saved? I Googled it. 500. 500 chickens.
She saved a lot of chickens.
I've saved a lot of chickens, but not that one.
I've eaten more than your fair share of chickens and mine, so.
But was it good though?
No.
Just imagine Danny
saying.
like shoving her second taco and like this jackfruit tastes disgusting. Huh?
Yeah. I'm like, this
Terrible.
is so gross. I think it was one of those things where, like, once I knew what it was, my mind just couldn't.
Yeah.
Like, I
Fair.
was like,
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Well, I mean, they make vegan stuff so good now.
Yes, it's hard to tell sometimes.
Like, there's this one. If I can shout out a place, am I allowed to shout places out?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Oh, okay.
No, go ahead. No.
no.
It's called Uptown Coffee. It's in Mount
Fuck
Lebanon.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's in Mount Lebanon. It's on Washington, like that road. I don't know. I'm new to
Yeah.
the South Hills, but it's called Uptown Coffee. And I went there and I asked for a vegan treat, and I was like, "Do you have any vegan treats?" And they were like, "Oh yeah, we have like this chocolate brownie cake thing." And I was like, "Okay, cool, I'll take it." It's like 8 a.m, so I'm like eating chocolate cake for 8 a.m. So there's your
Yeah.
fat people thingy.
There you go.
I was totally, but
Cake is the best thing to eat in the
it
morning.
was so good because it was like a little bit chilled and it had like a nice little chocolate on top.
Mm-hmm.
And I take one bite and spit it out. I spit it out
Shit puke.
immediately, almost.
Yeah.
And I went up to the counter and I was
Halfway
like,
there.
"I'm so sorry. I'm extremely allergic to egg. I asked for the vegan." And she goes, "That is vegan." I was like, "Are you serious?" And then I almost shit puke joy. I have not tasted anything so amazing. The little coffins that I had at my birthday party. Yes, they were all vegan. I was like, they were so good. So, like, I know people hate this word, but moist. They were so spongy. Maybe spongy's better.
drop.
But
It'll be used forever.
Shout out to Uptown Coffee, and they're amazing. So if any vegans are listening, they have the best vegan chocolate cake ever.
Oh.
Do they use applesauce or what do they use in it, you know?
No, I don't know what they use, but
You don't want to know what they use.
no, I
It's probably
think
bacon.
probably
It's dead babies. They said if it's people, it's not me.
It checks out.
I mean,
yeah.
that's okay.
No
That's fine.
Animals.
no
were-
animals are harmed. No,
Farm.
the woman who is the pastry chef there, I would tried asking her. She's like, "Oh, it's just a secret." I'm like, "Okay, but it does have like a coffee taste to it." So I think like to get some of the coloring in it, it has like coffee.
Coffee and chocolate is like the
I'm
elite.
telling you, it's so good. So go to Uptown Coffee.
All right.
That's a fat guy thing. I will dip a Kit Kat in my coffee in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, absolutely. Chocolate is.
If I'm ever baking like brownies or a chocolate cake, I'll always put like a little dash of like coffee in the
Yeah.
batter.
Ooh,
So
that's a good
good.
idea.
Yeah, so good.
That's a good pro tip for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not a
Fat.
big coffee person, but if
Are
it's,
you
if it's
a
in a dessert,
caffeine? No.
Mountain Dew, is that your?
Do you drink?
Yeah.
Do
I
you
feel like
drink
you're like a
caffeine in
Dr.
the
Pepper
morning?
guy.
I will drink a sugar-free energy drink and then 4 bags of Sour Patch Kids.
Okay. Okay.
So
I was actually going to take a
Side
picture
views.
when we leave. I'll show you my front seat. I got the regular bag of Sour Patch Kids, and then I got the all blue because I like the ratio of more blue to the others.
Okay.
do they?
That's not
taste
autistic.
That different.
This is so interesting.
I also put my shirts in color coordination today.
Okay.
So, yeah,
that's
maybe
how
there's
my
other
closet
things.
is.
So you're doing well today.
Yeah. I was thinking that when I was driving. I was like, it's been a rough week. A rough
feel
month.
like-
Yeah.
Might not be there anymore.
Don't ask me why, but I feel like Chris's closet is like the closet in 13 going on 30.
Oh my god.
Like
Oh
your
my
like
God.
level of like OCD. I feel like you would
Absolutely.
have her closet, but with like
I do, and I like you can see.
Exclusively black
I
shirts.
I love color. Color makes more sense to me than any other labeling because I see color and it makes
Right.
sense to
Oh,
me
yeah.
faster than I can read.
That's interesting. I get that.
Huh, did you colorize them?
Yeah, so I have my reds into the pinks, and
Yeah.
I
it's
love
very
that.
rainbow,
That's
and then I have
beautiful.
white on the gray scale to black.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so I start my closet with white.
I've never heard more people interested.
I
Or like,
color-
tell us more.
I color coordinate my closet too, but I start with white. I do white into
Yeah.
pink into red.
That's
because
what I
the
did.
Pink is a light red, and then I'm kind of mixed between if my beige is a dark white or it's a light brown. So I have some of my darker beiges are in my brown section. Don't come at me.
How dare you?
But I
That's
agree.
that's a solid question. I don't know.
I'm
Yeah.
really lucky if I hang up all my clean clothes before I have to do more laundry.
Oh yeah, I'll have all this, and then I'll wear the same 2 crow shirts for my
like,
entire life.
Is this dirty?
Yeah.
I don't know. Let me smell it.
Absolutely. Just put it inside out, man. But let's talk to Eric a little bit about comedy because I want to touch on that, and then we have our last month's top drops now, and then we have some new news. But Eric, as I told you the first time I remember meeting you, it was at Corner Cafe for that mic, and so I've been seeing you around and things, and then Abby, you and Eric were on Eric's podcast, correct?
Yep.
And Eric.
Abby and Eric were our first 2 guests.
Oh yeah. Well, Eric
What?
highly recommended you, and I
yeah.
believe So I was happy to have you on. So how is your podcast, and can you tell everybody just kind of a synopsis of what it is?
I mean, it's comedians with pastors talking Bible. It's exactly what it sounds like. I and Bob Schaefer, a colleague, good friend of mine, bring on 2 comedians, and we just dive into the lectionary readings, what we're going to have to preach on. We try and get a little background about each comedian's experience with the church, where they're coming out with it, and then we talk about the scriptures. I mean, I knew early on I wanted to do something that explored the Venn diagram between preaching and comedy, because everybody asks you, like, is it the same? And they're not, but there is a little overlap. And then just talking with Bob about how we'd make that look. That's sort of the format that we went into. And we brought you and Eric on first because we were really nervous. Our first guests were so carefully selected as to who would be like somewhat intelligent about it, respectful and funny, and just not wanting to have anybody that would push the bounds and
Yeah.
kind
Oh
of
my gosh, queen.
16
go,
guests
girl.
in, we're finding that we really didn't have as much to worry about as we thought. Like, everyone has come on with, if anything, more respect. Like, they're supposed to be able to actually be their authentic comedic self. But it was, I mean, really, I still think a lot of them have been really fun to do, but yours and Eric's was a great first episode.
I am
to do.
so honored. No shade to hear Poor Man's, but that was one of the best times I've ever had on a podcast. It was definitely the most interesting time, and like interesting in a good way, like unique.
You don't talk about fat people food.
Gluttony is actually one of the 7 deadly sins, so no,
It's my favorite too.
it is my favorite.
Well, one of them.
If it comes up in the reading,
one of my
that's our
7.
one fence we put on it. There's no fence as to what the comedian's response to the religious text is, but once we get into it, we're going to talk about what we read. So if fat people food comes up in the reading, you can talk about fat people food all you want.
Well, that's my favorite for sure. How long have you been preaching?
Preaching.
Yeah.
So I have been ordained
Yes.
for 5 years.
Okay.
previous to ordination, I was serving full-time preaching every Sunday for about 5 years before that. And I won't unpack the whole what an internship in vicarage looks like, but it was not a traditional vicarage for our denomination. Vicarage is internship.
I was just going to ask.
I'm like,
I was
what is
like,
that?
normally I'd play it off, but that's,
that's-
I don't,
So
no context.
It was
clues.
not a traditional version of that, but so if preaching is about 10 years now, but I have only been an ordained pastor for 5 years.
So did you get feedback from preaching that people were like, oh, that was lighthearted, or that you were
Oh,
very...
good God, no.
No. Fire and brimstone?
No, that is,
Yeah.
I am, you can get a lot of laughs when you're preaching,
Yeah.
but not for things that would get like, in a funeral, you will never land a joke as hard in your life as just saying one kind of off-the-cuff thing about she was a stubborn old woman.
Yeah.
And then everybody's, oh, yeah, she sure was. And they're rolling in the aisles. She sucked. But it's not comedy. There's, getting into comedy was, I grew up just, my family, when we would travel to go see the grandparents, Bill Cosby and Mel Brooks were in tapes that we'd listen to the whole way. And then early on, like third grade, Rita Rudner was my favorite comedian. And then Paula Poundstone's special with the lube rack, if anybody has seen that. Like she's talking to somebody in the crowd, and they bring up that there was a lube rack accident, and she makes fun of it.
Okay.
But that special was kind of the first time I saw that jokes could be more than just a setup punchline, and that there was something special going on there. And just as my whole life have been drawn to that. And it was like late COVID on Christmas break. I take the week after Christmas off every year and drink about 5 bottles of scotch.
Yeah.
As it
And
should.
so into the
Tis the
second,
season, for sure.
into the
We're
second or
celebrating.
third bottle of scotch, I got it into my head late at night that I needed to find where one could do stand up in the city,
Yeah.
and just kind of went out, and I've been having fun with it ever since. I don't know if I'm doing anything good, but I'm sure enjoying what I'm doing.
Have you felt your preaching change at all since you've done stand-up? Or even just your persona, or like the way you...
That's a really good
Speak,
question because I don't think it's intentionally changed.
Yeah.
But I think there's little vocal tics I'll do
Yeah.
that in a joke that I'll find it slip out in my preaching.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's a joke tick that I do.
Oh, that's funny. We can laugh.
He's very comfortable holding the mic stand up there.
That's it.
Do you move the mic stand when you preach now?
Yeah. Moves it out of the way.
I am
Marking the pole.
I stay in the pulpit like I'm driving the Starship Enterprise. I do not. Once in a blue moon, I have left the pulpit, and I feel weird. The congregation feels weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody. If it's not the children's sermon, I stay in the pulpit.
Yeah. We're just like, stay right where you are.
We're comfortable with this setup.
Right.
Let's keep doing it this way. But so how many episodes have you done of your podcast now?
We have 16 episodes out
Oh, okay.
now.
Cool.
We've got 4 more until we finish up the first season.
Uh-huh.
And then we'll be coming back in time for Advent next year. And we're looking to try and do some new things in the second season. We're talking about a potential live episode on Pitt campus.
Oh, that would be cool.
Trying to
yeah.
reach out to
That would
some
be really cool.
some folks that would be, I mean, we've had a lot of great comics on there, but looking at people with larger followings that we'd like to reach out and get on every now and then. And but I mean, regardless, we're just having a grand old time with it. It's been really fun to bring people in and talk about stuff that they have no idea what they're talking about. and Bob and I have master's levels education. It makes us feel so smart.
So are all the guests that you have on, are they based in religion or theology or anything like that, or could they be like non-believers?
All
or
I
you
really
have
care about
everybody?
is if I think they're funny.
Okay.
That's,
Okay.
I pick.
Yeah.
Bob doesn't know anybody on the comedy scene, so I'm the one who books the guests. And
Yeah.
the only thing is that I think you're funny, and that we haven't had 3 people exactly like your style
Yeah.
episodes before to try and bounce around who we've had on. But if you make me laugh and you're a little different than the last person we had on, you're an excellent person to bring on.
Yeah, for
Very
sure.
cool.
Yeah.
So, Abby, what was your favorite part about doing Eric's?
I think my favorite moment was that I don't remember the passage you read, and I don't remember how we got there, but somehow we came to the conclusion that Kirk Cameron was the Christmas Lorax. He speaks for the Starbucks Christmas cups.
I
Checks
forget
out.
exact. That was our clip. That was
Yeah.
the promo clip we put out.
What a good
with
clip.
Kirk Cameron as the Christmas Lorax, and I forget. Eric had brought up something.
Yeah.
That the response was that we had to accuse people
Yeah.
of attacking the church to
Yes.
get them on our side.
Yeah.
That's how we ended up on the Kirk Cameron kick.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go back and listen to that one for sure.
Absolutely.
Eric, where can everybody find you, and what's the name of the podcast one more
The
time?
podcast is Comedians with Pastors Talking Bible. Intentionally kept that long so that if you put it into an Apple or a Spotify playlist, by the time you're at the third word, we are the one that shows up instead of being in the
Yeah.
mix of 1,000
Yes.
comedians, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Yes.
So it's Comedians with Pastors. By the time you get that far, I think we're niche enough that we're,
Always
we're
the
the
top.
only one you're going
number
to find.
one.
But if you-
Always number one.
If you throw in Talking Bible, you've got CPTB.
Yeah.
And that's on just about every podcast platform that you can find. Me personally, and you'll find promo clips for it at Old Dirty Pastor on Instagram or at To the Rest I Say with Pastor Eric on Facebook.
All right. Definitely everybody check that out. Follow Eric and give the podcast a listen to. Definitely Abby and Eric's too.
Oh, yeah.
Above any of them, I would say. I'm biased though. I think
I'm
Abby's,
biased too.
Abby's
I say check
wonderful.
ours out. I
So is
know.
Eric. So definitely check that out. Check all of them out. Do you want to do the top drops and then move into some of the news?
Absolutely.
All right.
Let's do it.
I hope this is the right one, but we'll hit this and go from there.
Yo, what's up? This is Jeff Viedas, and you're watching the Poor Man's Podcast. What, you want the yuppie cast? Go fuck yourself.
Don't you know what's up for top drops? The top drops we had last week. Don't you know what's up for top drops? The top drops we had from last week. Don't get offended by the words that come next. Just remember that they're out of context. Don't you know it's time for last week's top drops? Top drops. Top drops. Top drops. Top drops. All of the words next are taken out of context, so don't you know it's time for last week's drops.
This guy is just too ripped.
Sorry, girlfriend.
Hello. It's like, what the hell are you talking about?
OnlyFans isn't just for titties anymore.
That's a good sound drop.
I'm white. I have no rhythm.
Holocaust for bees.
It might be like repressed trauma.
Sir, we should never see a bee and a wasp together!
Brees are just pants that don't want to commit.
People know me, Nate Nagvajar, friend of the animals.
I'm the BA.
What, you want to get an orca in the theater? What do you think? What do you think it is? A wombat? And we'll be right back after this.
Thank you all for still listening to there. Don't you know what's up for top drops? The top drops we had last week. Don't you know what's up for top drops? The top drops we had from last week. Don't get offended by the words that come next. Just remember that they're out of context. Don't you know it's time for last week's top drops? Top drops. Top drops. Top drops. Top drops. All of the words next are taken out of context, so don't you know it's time for last week's drops. There we have it, everybody. Last month's drops at this point makes it almost better. Not remember any of the things we talked about, but
Nope, I forgot all the things I
well,
said.
yeah, you have to go back now and listen to the whole episode, and then hopefully it'll make a little bit more sense. But I know we have.
Sorry, girlfriend. Sorry, girlfriend.
Sorry, girlfriend.
Sorry, girlfriend.
Sorry, girlfriend.
God,
Listen, I have to hold up to the standard that is the white woman, and that is me.
And on that
As
note,
she
we
drops
will
her
hit.
Stanley.
Yes, as I dropped my Stanley Cup.
Oh no!
I know, tragic.
Oh god.
I have
All right.
culture.
I know.
That's a hate crime.
It absolutely is. Survive. Feels good to be here. All right. It's hot grimace summer.
I did get her hot girl summer, kind of.
Yep.
Okay, here we go.
I knew it was coming. Ever since McDonald's mascot Grimace threw the first pitch at the Mets game against the Miami Marlins on June 12th, the Mets haven't lost a game.
I can't believe that's still the case because I remember hearing that like a week or two ago.
Yeah. It's a hot Grimace summer.
We'll have to talk to Steve if he's around. Steve's a Mets fan.
Oh, that's right. I think
Maybe-
he just did a
yeah.
game not that long ago, wasn't
Yeah.
he?
Maybe he and Grimace are in cahoots.
Oh.
Maybe.
Do you think
I've
he's-
never seen Grimace and Steve Hofstetter in the same room together.
Oh my God.
This is
You're
my new
right.
favorite conspiracy.
Make a Reddit board. It's happening.
Okay. Well, I mean, hey, by hook or by crook, the
All
Mets
those-
are the Mets are on a winning
All
streak.
those
So.
people
are.
he's heckling are just on his trail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hamburglar, you came out here? Yeah. So what's the deal with hot Grimace summer?
It's hot Grimace summer.
Yeah. Oh, I was hoping that they were making a big deal that nobody was celebrating Grimace's birthday this year.
Oh, I forgot about Grimace's birthday. So I'm as bad as everybody else.
Yeah, Danny, God.
Fuck.
How
yeah.
old is Grimace?
Okay, so
Shut the fuck
we
You're
up.
gonna shame us for not celebrating and not
Grimace-
know how old he is.
Grimace
You should
was
stop
was
asking
from the
questions. I think
70s.
that's what you should do.
Grimace
No.
is gonna come out of nowhere.
I'm from the 70s too.
Grimace originally had like 6 arms and stuff, and he
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
yeah, he was like terrifying because we had Amanda Averill on. Were you here for that?
Yeah,
when
we
we
did a
talked
deep
about
dive.
Uncle O'Grimacy from
Yes.
Ireland,
Yes.
who brought the Shamrock
legend.
Shake. Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he used to have like 4 arms, and then he was like evil Grimace, I think. And then he became his quote bumbling friend later on. And then you have like the little chicken nugget people. Yeah, maybe I do
I
have some.
am
kind
a
of-
white woman and I actually pronounce grimace like grimace.
It's Gramache.
Don't do that.
Yes. I mean, I don't want to add the
What are you gonna do?
conspiracy.
Send me to hell?
I'm just gonna say don't.
Absolutely.
That's a one-way
going into
ticket, man.
So I guess we'll follow the Mets
Okay.
rise to glory,
We all
man.
got very quiet very
Yeah,
quickly.
well,
Okay.
yeah, we're upset about Grimace not getting the respect he deserves
Well-
after all the. There was a bunch of Grimace shit puking videos, weren't there? Weren't those
Were
viral
there?
like a year ago?
I don't know.
The
Please
Grimace
send them
shake.
to me.
Yeah, because it was killing kids on TikTok or something.
yeah.
Wait, what?
Oh
it-
yeah,
They weren't actually dying. They were just pretending like it
yeah.
was killing
They were like
Oh,
drinking, and then you see them
okay.
like gurgling
Oh, yeah.
the raspberry shake or whatever, the Grimace shake.
Oh, I didn't know if it was like the hot chip thing where like we were going to do the
Oh,
challenge, but then
no.
a week before a child unfortunately passed away.
Yeah, we were gonna do
from
like
it.
the hottest chip
Oh my
challenge,
God.
and like
no.
as I was going, like I searched it to buy it, and it was like kid dies, and we are like,
Have you ever done like a hot ones or like a hot wings challenge here? I'd be down to do that.
okay, let's do that.
Yeah, okay,
let's
okay,
figure that
all
out
right.
for sure.
Can I have a dipping cup of sauces and fries?
Yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. You can be. I don't know why we would need like a girl with a card, but that's what I'm picturing you to have
Shay,
with the
would you be
rounds.
available?
I
Have
can
a
be a
ring
girl.
girl.
Yeah, it's just like the wing off. I'll see you in the wing.
And Abby will be so cool with her wings, and I'll just be dipping French fries.
My God, those are chicken fries, Danny.
I'll just be here, round 1. Chicken 1.
Perfect. Let's get that going for sure. Abby, I feel like that's one of the
I feel
best
like- yeah.
best ideas I've heard on the show.
We do it at
I have
Thanksgiving
those sometimes. Ooh.
when I'm back.
Okay. Okay.
It's happening.
Okay.
You could get tofu nuggets.
That's true. I could.
We could get her dragon fruit and say it's dragon fruit.
I can't be bamboozled again.
I think you might. We'll see.
It'll happen.
We'll see.
It'll happen later today.
Danny, nothing personal, but every time you come in, there's a new bamboozlement.
Yeah.
I'm aware.
You're prone to bamboozlement.
I am.
Okay, that's all I mean.
Easily swindled. Speaking
Wool over eyes, as you said.
of wool over the eyes. Speaking of people who've been swindled,
Sweet.
Jackass star Steve-O is no stranger to weird tattoos, from a giant portrait of himself on his back to a crash test dummy logo on the top of his head. But his newest ink might be the most ridiculous. The sober stuntsman now has a dripping penis permanently etched above his eyebrow, tattooed by none other than Mr. Post Malone.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's very telling that all except for one members of the Jackass cast are still alive, but the
Yes.
death rate for Glee
Yes.
is staggering.
Oh, that's true. That's another
Yeah.
conspiracy.
Yeah,
Put it on Reddit.
what's the conspiracy behind this?
Behind the Glee.
Behind the Glee, what are they dying from
Three-
that keeps Jackass alive? Is it a Glee sacrifice for the Jackass crew?
OD, suicide, and then drowning. So,
Wow.
yeah.
That's real. That's not conspiracy, Abby. You're missing
Yeah.
the fun
Yeah,
in the game.
Okay, the fun of the game. It's you know what? It's the gays.
That's a good soundtrack.
I mean,
Pride Month is over. I can say that.
it
No,
is
I
July
can't.
1st, baby.
It's Wrath Month now.
Another 7 digits, and I love.
Steve-O has lived long enough to
Yeah.
have a
Steve has
dripping
outlived
penis tattoo.
what everybody expected, right?
I don't know.
You thought he'd still be alive now?
No.
I thought he would have OD'd by now.
I'm surprised.
I hate when I OD it.
Did over D his eyebrow.
I was waiting for who was going to say it.
We're right here. I was like, his D is over.
It is there. I'm honestly surprised that Bam Margera is still with us.
Exactly. Well, that takes us back to one of the best games, and go back and listen to the podcast where we played the wonderful, I believe it was you and Dave Stewart, played the, is it Antonio Brown or Bam Margera game?
Who freakishly knows a lot about both of those individuals.
Yeah. He went 7 for 7, and it wasn't even like a thought.
It was rude.
Yeah.
It was quite disrespectful.
It
If
was.
you ask me.
We also have some big Dave Stewart news coming up in the future that I can't divulge yet, but
Yeah.
it'll be exciting in the next month for Dave Stewart, and I'm tagging along. So.
Thank you for announcing nothing.
Oh no! I got to keep
love
you
it.
on the edge of your seat. You got to tune in to see
Are
what
you having his baby?
Baby number
Abby.
2.
You have
Baby
to
number
listen to find out.
Don't
God,
tell everybody.
I didn't think I was showing.
That's what all the Sour Patch Kids were for.
It wasn't McDonald's, everybody. I'm brave.
Dave, I need more blue than the rest of them. You don't understand.
You don't get it.
I'm with your child.
I need pickles, ice cream, and blue Sour Patch Kids.
Can I say one thing before we move to the next?
Please.
Absolutely.
It's gonna out you a little bit, but I liked how you wrote a shorthand and didn't remember what it was. So you said ridiculous.
And I give PowerPoints at my job. Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry, it was just funny. I was reading it and I was like, what does that stand for? And then you didn't know either.
Okay, I stole it from somebody, and I don't know what it stands for, and I forgot to Google it. So
Okay. It was funny. Sorry.
Danny, do your nails match the index card? They're pretty close.
Yes.
I would put those two shirt colors next to each other in the closet for sure.
absolutely, they're like the same shade.
Almost, yeah.
Are you
Not
ready for
exactly.
this amazing story?
Am I?
This is for the ladies.
No,
So don't listen.
fellas.
All
Yeah.
right, we'll
Listen
check
closely.
out.
Yeah, sorry. After what felt like decades of teasing fans regarding a Freaky Friday sequel, Disney has finally answered our prayers. Yes, Disney Studios has officially confirmed that Freaky Friday 2 is in the works.
Wow.
I'm so
Are
excited.
Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan going to be in
Oh,
it?
of course.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, obviously.
I mean, duh.
Well, I'm just making sure.
And they're bringing a lot of the original cast members back. I saw
Really?
too.
Is Chad Michael Murray back?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
Childhood crush.
Samesies.
So are they just
One
going
of.
to go back in
Yeah,
their
one
bodies
of.
again, probably, but they're going to be older?
So I read on Facebook that supposedly this is going to be more about Lindsay Lohan's kids in the movie, but I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I kind of want to see Lindsay Lohan doing an Activia commercial.
I as well would love that.
Yes.
After years of cocaine.
That's a good sound drop.
I need to regulate.
I don't know. Cocaine era got us like booty shaking and Mykonos. So that was
Yeah.
always fun.
Oh
Her
my God,
dancing. She was
yes.
crazy.
Cocaine Lindsay was kind of my spirit
Yeah.
animal.
Honestly, iconic.
Yeah.
Yes. I the older I get, like understand. Oh, that was Britney Spears. Never mind. I almost said
But I get it. I get it.
But I also get
But I
her
get
too.
it.
Child
Either.
stars at Snap. They're all one.
I'm not
It makes
even
sense.
a child star, but I also want to shave my head.
I was just gonna,
like,
yeah. I was like, yeah, I would
Absolutely.
shave my head too. And
I
then was
blame
like,
Dan Snyder.
Dan.
a moment of silence.
Yeah,
A
a
moment
moment
of
of silence
silence.
for Dan
Affected by
Snyder.
Dan.
For
He was a hell of a
Draco.
producer.
I saw
All right, let's
Weinstein and
change
said,
it.
"Hold my beer."
Yeah.
It was more like, "Hold my salami."
Yeah. or just rub my back, whatever you need. Yeah.
I'm the middle-aged guy at the table pretending like I know who you're talking about.
Hey,
We'll give you a list of documentaries you
Yeah.
have to watch.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's not on the up and up, I'd say.
Probably
Be
not.
prepared to cringe. It's very.
Ugh. So gross. It was horrifying.
What was the last story again?
Oh, we were
I'm
talking
focusing on the colors.
Freaky Friday.
Oh,
Darn
that's
it.
that's right.
Jackass and Hot Grimace Summer.
Yeah.
Summer.
The song that band plays in Freaky Friday is pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
good.
Sounds
Whatever.
like they're
and then they have
right
Jamie
here.
Lee Curtis on
Yeah,
the
it
outside.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you playing the drums in that
my
movie?
God.
Oh, okay.
See, when I play air guitar, I like to hold the pick and then I hold the frets.
That's the
Not
only
that
way
I
to
know
do it.
anything. Oh, you gotta,
Did you play Guitar Hero?
Yeah,
It shows.
Well, I played rock band. A
Oh.
little bit different, yeah. A little bit different. I like the
little
guitar.
different, yeah.
Yeah. And the soundtrack was a little bit better, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. But yeah, I don't want to be too controversial.
The only way I could play Guitar Hero is if I would said the colors.
Yeah.
So like the only song I remember is red, yellow, red, green, green,
Oh, I love that.
green, yellow, red, green, green. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. No, that was good though.
That was amazing.
I don't know the words. I
That
just
was
know
like
the colors.
Beavis and Butthead doing the song.
I only know the colors.
She has her shirt up over her head.
For those of you not watching.
That's why you got to go and watch the YouTube
You gotta
video as
watch
well.
it.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah. Is there anything else? Do you want to touch on, Danny?
I'll see you guys in a few months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. It's wonderful to see you. I wasn't expecting to, and it's a very pleasant surprise.
Thank you.
And
I'm
Shay,
happy to
thank
be
you for
here.
coming. Maybe we'll have to
Yes,
have
thank
Shay
you.
back on because Shay
Oh my
came in.
God, you guys are gonna take over,
Yeah.
and I love it.
Okay.
And then,
I love it.
and then Danny and I are also going to try to be doing a Poor Man's Podcast. We got to think of what coast to coast to almost.
Coast to
something.
I think Coast to Almost
Yeah.
is our vibe.
There we
like
go.
it.
Yeah,
I like
that
it.
too. We'll do
It's like
that.
we're right there, but we're so close.
So
Yeah.
close.
The poor
but
man's coast to coast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
it is Coast to Almost.
Yeah, and then we get to
It's
Pittsburgh
like
and
the
we
Walmart coast. It's Lake Erie.
exactly. Abby, I'm sure you have a million shows coming up, so
boy.
tell everybody about them.
Working girl.
July 20th, Trundle Manor. It's like a spooky museum.
Trundle?
Spooky. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like a spooky museum in Monroeville.
What?
July 20th, I'll be there. I'll post it on my Instagram in the next couple days.
I just,
But
like,
yeah.
Oh, that sounds so fun.
Yes. That does sound fun.
Maybe you should not go to LA then.
Guys, stop it.
Could you live stream?
Okay, I can
We
do it.
FaceTiming.
Yeah.
Just have Danny there.
Yes, just put me in a seat.
Why do we not have holograms yet? Why can't Danny just be in a hologram?
Listen, that'd be my first investment.
Xenon Z3 in 20. What year was that? 2023. They were.
I
projecting
think it was
at?
actually this year,
Yeah,
2024. Mhm.
We had holograms in Xenon Z3. So
Yeah.
I don't understand why it hasn't.
We
been
had
that.
flying cars in Back to the Future in
That's true.
2015, man.
That's true.
We don't even have the pizza that's small and then you put it in the microwave and then it's big.
We have the opposite.
Rude.
We have those shoes though.
Yeah. There you go. What else do you need?
And the scooters, I guess.
We have,
scooters.
hoverboards, kind of.
Hoverboards.
Kind of, yeah.
Now I'm just imagining like that like chase scene in Back to the Future too, but like they're on like actual hoverboards.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
The manure
My great
scene.
Scott, Doc, he's gaining on us.
I know, he tries to go across the river, but he doesn't have the Mad Dog power or
When
whatever.
this baby hits 88 miles per hour, but he's just
yeah. By Griff. Griff's going after him, man. Biff's grandson. They never see that in between. I wonder what Griff's dad and Biff's son's like. Maybe we'll see that in the future, Danny.
I've never seen that movie.
What? That's so surprising. Eric, where can everybody find you one more time? And
Me. At Old Dirty Pastor on Instagram. To the
It's
Rest
so
I
good.
Say with Pastor Eric on Facebook. And you can find the podcast, Comedians with Pastors Talking Bible, anywhere you find your podcasts.
absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It's good to
Thank
talk
you.
to you. Abby, it's wonderful to see you.
wonderful to be here.
Shay, wonderful to see you as
Thank you
well.
for having me.
Shay, the champion of Match
The
Game.
champ.
Undefeated as of now. So
Dad,
take that, Johnny.
I got the shirt.
And Danny, always wonderful to see you.
Yes.
Hope to see you as much as possible. And let's do that podcast. Coast
Absolutely.
to almost.
Love it.
Almost.
But for the wonderful, the talented, the beautiful Danny, Shay, Eric, and Abby, I am Chris. Thank you so much for listening.
All I'm going to say is I'm so happy
Yeah.
that I was allowed to be part of your day.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. We hope you had a good time. If you did, be sure to subscribe to the show to catch the latest episodes and share with your friends. We can't promise not to embarrass you. And if you just can't get enough, follow us on Instagram at Poor Man's Podcast 412, Twitter at Poor Man's Pod 412, and Facebook. This is Pittsburgh's own Poor Man's Podcast signing off. See you next week.
In my opinion, that sucked.
Poor Man's Podcast, the best podcast in Pittsburgh.
Straight cash, homie.